Hello. Welcome back to Royal Key, my monthly Royal Key reality recap, with your one and only Woody Sterling. Yeah, I've been working too much, child. Like, it's been a day, it's been a month. We here in March Madness. We here to talk about the reunions. We here to talk about the recaps, the returns, the reckonings, all those types of things. But right now, we about to talk about me. And so, hello. If you're in the room, feel free to say a good hello so I can know who's joining us, honey. And so I don't feel like I'm out here alone. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for joining. Child, what do I have on the docket? So we're going to be talking about, of course, sorry, I'm over here using my computer, my work computer keyboard. We're gonna be talking about Married to Medicine. As y'all know, that is my show right now. We are in their reunion deep. So talking about like the end of their season. We're gonna be talking about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They just finished their finale. We got some big news from that. Oh, look, I got somebody joining me. Ooh. Girl, you have to tell me when you're ready to come on up. We have Real Housewives of Atlanta. Sweet 16 is back in action. And so I'm looking at you, sister. You're gonna be up for that one. And then also we're gonna talk about the Traitors, Real Housewives of Potomac, just to finish that up, and just like other things that we're watching and things like that. So just to give y'all just a quick update about me in the month of March. One, don't I look good? I just got a haircut today. I'm feeling real sexy. I'm feeling real suave. I'm feeling real eateroni. And so, shout out to me. Getting my hair finally touched up, changed, twisted, all those types of things later on this week. And so the next Royal Key recap, y'all gonna see a brand new B. And so I'm really excited for that. I think work has been nice. Work has been really busy. Shout out to the girls there. Just a lot of changes that are happening. Wow, my skin looks amazing as well. Like, I might have to take some pictures of myself. Hold on, I'm really eating it up. Like, I don't know. I got to go to Chicago. That's actually big news. Shout out to my girl Maddie. Happy belated. Her birthday was yesterday. And like, yeah, we got to go to, like, it was something that we planned in the works for a while, just going to Chicago, going to see her. It was my like first time like really in Chicago. Like, I've been in Chicago before once because I had a job interview there, and it was cold. I didn't really know anybody except for like one or two of my friends from college. But like being able to be there like now as an adult and like sort of see someone who like really lives there, seeing a few other loved ones. It was tea. It was tea. I need to go ahead and post. Also, if you don't follow me on my social media, I am woodysterling.hs on Instagram and TikTok. So please follow me on those. TikTok is when I give my bad bitchology updates. I am well overdue for a new post. But that is coming soon. Boom. Before we get into sort of like and let me get the thing on stage with us. Before we get into sort of like the big, the main recap, the reason why we're here, I want to talk a little bit about just like what's the biggest things that are happening this month. I think one of the biggest things that I've been seeing is what we've all been seeing is Kanye West really going off for whatever reason, talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z's kids, trying to have some like questionable people around his children, entering into some sort of thing going on between him and Kim. It's a lot of stuff going on, y'all. And so all I'm gonna do is pray on through it. We're gonna pray on through. We're gonna pray for the children. We're gonna make sure that they okay. But I think that that's something that's really big that's going on. And like, what else? I feel like there's so many things going on, or that has been going on this month. Just in the sense of pop culture, I know my head has been really down on like all the reality TV news and gossip, but yeah, go ahead, comment, share anything that's going on in the world for the people before we get on and with sort of like, what I've been watching, which y'all, I have not been watching TV aside from my reality TV shows, and I've been very like lackluster and late on those. I was like, damn, I'm scrolling through my recently watched, and I'm like, all I got is White Lotus. Cute, I guess, I suppose, but like, girl, I don't got nothing else going on. Which fine, I guess I don't. But White Lotus had a very, very, very wild, hold on, child. White Lotus has a very wild storyline going on. Like I said, there's these three ladies who are my favorite. Miss Kate is my favorite. Like I know, girl, like I know we don't agree with her political beliefs, but like she's just so tea to me. She's the most stylish. She's the most like, like snooty booty. And I love, I got the crown. I love a snooty booty girl. Like I love a girl that's like, why are these men in our private villa, girl? We don't know them from a can of paint. Aren't you married? And girl, like if you want to go have fun with them elsewhere. Don't bring them to where I'm at. Leave it at Bella Noche. And so shout out to my girl, Kate. Shout out to my girl Lori for just being real, calling out the girl, saying like y'all still being as messy as y'all was in 10th grade. Y'all haven't grown, y'all haven't changed. Bam, bam, boom. Honestly, I like to see it. We got the brother Saxton and Lockie. They didn't have a little intimate session. The girls was really gagged and goop. We had hosted, me and my roommate had hosted some folks over this past Saturday or this past Sunday, and like we watched it together. Cooked for them. We had some salmon bites, y'all. We had some fried chicken. We had some corn ribs. Like it was really tea. I'm really grateful for the community that I have out here in this lovely city. And it makes not being home, like as tough as that is, it makes it like sort of like easier to bear. And so, yeah, that's all I'm watching on TV aside from like, what's that show called? House of Cards, which like I know I'm really late to the party. And then I like recently got into my Naruto bag again because I'm a girl that just loves the OMG. Hi, lovey. Hi, hi, hi. I'm just a girl who like really loves like just easy TV. And so I don't really like the subtitles because like my brain just can't capture all of that, but I love the dubs. And so shout out to that. And so, yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get into the recaps. First order of business I have for us is Traitors. So Traitors ended in March. We had a lot to discuss in Traitors. Hold on, let me go ahead. I'm not gonna discuss that with everybody, child, because I need y'all engaging. I need the audience. I need some like interactions. I'm not talking to myself. But let's talk about sort of the final moves that we had on the Traitors. And so I think who did we have at the end? It was Brittany, it was Danielle, it was Dylan, Gabby, forgetting the man's name, Dolores from Real Housewives. Like that was like our group. And so of course Danielle is a traitor. She brought Brittany on. Danielle and Brittany are the traitors. We're trying to see if they make it to the very end. Brittany becomes a seer. And so like, it's like, okay, girl, like you say you see her, what you gonna do? She ended up talking about how she ended up picking Gabby, which like, everyone loves Queen Gabby, Gaggy as the girls are calling her, who's actually like quite hilarious. I'm not a fan of Bachelor Nation. Like I'm shout out to the girl for being queer, but like I don't really there's nothing about because I know we have Love is Blind. That's not on the docket. So sorry, y'all. Like I can't really get into the straight dating TV shows. Like they're fun, they're cute. I like a good clip, but I can't really just fully commit. You know what I mean? But anyway, so we had our girl with the seer power. She picked Gaggy. She said she was a faithful. They came to the end. She turned on Danielle. Also, that was like the biggest thing. She turned on Danielle. And I was a little disappointed. I'm happy that Danielle made it all the way to the end though, because like I will say my girl's gameplay was just not cute. I am one of those people who's a Danielle fan though. So if you are not a Danielle fan, like girl, bye. Like I get that she played a sloppy game, she played a messy game. Carolyn was everyone's fave of the season. People are saying that like she just was so heinous and so villainous and so malicious and all those things. She swore on her grandkids, like it was doing too much for the game. Like that's what I love. Like I got in a Big Brother late in life, but like I love seeing that messy gameplay. I wish I got to see it more in play. Like I think there's so many people who play it safe in these reality TV shows, or these competition shows that like there's money on the line. I don't want people who got money. Like if you have money, if you're in a certain sort of like income tax bracket and like you're just here for the exposure, you're here so you can get some more deals, all those things, get on somebody else's show. And thank you. Thank you. Like, period. Like Granted, I'm not doing all of that. I'm a child of God, and so I don't play with that. And so I'm not going to be doing all of that. However, if I know someone is all about family, I try to be very careful with in calculating with my words. And so like I try not to necessarily like I'm not gonna say like I put it on my, I swear on my kids, like strike them gone. I'm like, girl, like I'm so serious, like, it's almost as serious as I put it on my kids. Catch that. Almost as serious, not as serious for me to really do that. But anyway, look, for me, I'm not gonna do all of that. Anyway, I think Danielle played a good game. In the end, she was booted out. In the very end, they were around this circle. All the people made it to the circle. I think it was Dylan. Oh no, let's talk about that roundtable. See, I should have had more of my notes. I'm just trying to do like the big picture things because I was hoping my girls was gonna be talking with me. But yes, at that roundtable, Dylan tried to, and wow, I feel like I've had these nails for like the last two recaps. So sorry, I'm getting them done next week though. But let's talk about how with what's his name? Dylan, he said that Miss Brittany was being a little too aggressive after he said she was a traitor, and she said, "Well, you give traitor," and he was like, "I don't know, you just hit me a little bit too hard. I don't know what to do with that. Fight back, fight back." And so that pissed me off a little bit. But like in the end, the faithfuls won. I don't know. Like I think it was a good season. I like the clips. I like the drama. The traitors were chaotic. But like the faithfuls who won, like whatever. I know everyone loves Dylan. He's so hot. Oh my goodness. Oh, the hot Ephraim brother. Like whatever. Like I know the girls love Gaggy. I'm fine that she won. I just it was a little safe. It was a little safe. Like I was a little bored. Like, and then we got into the reunion, and then like, at the reunion, people. My bad, child. My bad, child. I don't know what happened. I think I didn't kick myself out of the call. But yeah, after the reunion, let me put everything back up. After the reunion, or at the reunion, everybody was going up against Miss Mama's what's her name, going up against Danielle, saying that they think that she played a little bit too hard. We had Bob the drag queen really ate up everybody who was against him. Like, that's the type of bad bitch that I appreciate and that I enjoy in these TV shows, because he really was not playing no games. He really was like, oh, Dorinda, girl, I don't know you and you don't know me. So what you upset with? And y'all are mad that we played a game. Y'all mad at Danielle for playing a game. You lost, she won, we're here. Get over it. And I really like that. Like being quick. Like I think Dorinda was doing a little bit too much. And I'm not a drag race girl. Hi, Dwayne. I'm not a drag race girl. And so like I don't know a lot of like the drag queens and like how they are. Like I know Peppermint was really great last season. Trishelle fucking got her out. Trishelle, I'm still looking at your ass about that. But like, like honestly, and I know everybody's saying that Bob played. I didn't expect to spend this much time on Traitors, my bad. But everybody was saying that Bob played such a strong game and he did too much. Like, I honestly don't mind it. Like, I think he did like a cute, okay type of game. Like, I think that he was dramatic. I think that he, look, let me see. Low-key Bob irritated me because I'm coming from the housewives. But here's the thing, the housewives came for him and he redirected that energy and he put them in their place. And so honestly, like, ain't much I can say about that. Anyway, let me go ahead and move on, child. The reunion was whatever. The people love, I will say this too, the people love and the people go off for Boston Rob when he is one of the most maniacal, nasty, self-serving ass villains in reality TV. And oh, look, my bad. Let me keep these. He didn't know Dorinda. Here's the thing, like, we know Dorinda, but like, like the people who don't watch the New York Housewives, I don't watch New Jersey Housewives. I do know who Dolores is because she's a it girl on there. Um, Boston Rob was fine in the day. And then what was my girl Sierra talking about? Girl, you was so fine, child. I ain't know that. But like, no, like he really is nasty, and the people go up for him, and he was playing a nasty game. And I feel like the people, and they can say what they want to say about Danielle and say that she was crying, she was doing hysterics, whatever, moving on. Like, keep that same energy across the board. Y'all know how I feel about my black women, my reality TV, and how they do not get the same sort of like just do as a lot of their peers in this space. But anyway, Faithfuls won, boohoo, whatever. Was Brittany's move? These are some questions I have for the group. Y'all don't have to worry about answering them if you know, because I'm about ready to move on. But was Brittany's move as the seer brilliant or unnecessarily risky? I think it was brilliant. I think it was great that she picked someone who she knew was. I mean, she knew all of them was faithfuls, but she picked someone who she knew she can be like, oh yeah, this person like to align with. Like, you know, I'm glad she didn't pick Dylan. He's annoying. Is Alan coming, enhancing or overshadowing the contestants? Honestly, if the girls can't keep up, then that's their fault and they don't need to be on the show. I am excited to see. And so, sorry, let me one more question. Did the Faithfuls change the gameplay forever? I don't think so. I will say I'm excited to see. We have rumored Nene Leakes, New York, Tiffany Pollard, somebody from Potomac. I forgot. We have a lot of fun rumored people who are going to be on this next season of the Traitors. So let me know who you would like to see on the Traitors next season. Next case. Oh my gosh, Married to Medicine. I did not want to talk about them this early, but my Married to Medicine girlies. My sister, you ready to come up here with me to talk about Married to Medicine? Give me a thumbs up if you are. I'm gonna take that as a yes. Oh my gosh, hi. Joining me is the one and only Miss Jayla.
Hello,
Baby,
hello,
I'm
hello.
in a few months, huh? You
Can you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Oh, look,
Can
she
you,
going.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Pookie.
Okay.
Okay, let's get into it with Married to Medicine. Y'all go ahead and talk. Exactly. For next season, we want Mary Cosby, which I think is rumored, and we also want Candace Diller Bassett on Traitors. Bring my girls on there. Married to Medicine. Let's get into it. So Married to Medicine, we had their last few episodes, and then we had their reunion part one that just aired. Y'all, I Married to Medicine is my favorite reality TV show, ensemble cast, period, hands down. I wanted to show y'all their outfits, and I might do that so me and Jayla can give the girls like a full reaction of their fits and how we're feeling about them. But I want to get into sort of like the end of the episodes, and so a lot of the last few episodes or the finale was really centered and rooted into Dr. G's legal drama after Key West. Do we feel like it's a justified concern or is it drama for nothing? What you think, Jay?
It's giving very drama for nothing.
It's very drama for nothing for me too. I think that you know you're on a reality TV show. You know that somebody is not about to like actually really touch you, and also you antagonize and like instigate and irritate people, and you don't want
Mm-hmm.
to get you. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, like I think that, mind you, my mouth is nasty and slick as Rick too. And I'm gonna be right there with you. I don't care how tall you are, how big you are. If you look like you're gonna be my ass, I'm gonna be popping off with you, and I'm gonna get whatever the consequences are. I mean, I know Dr. Heavenly be running off and be like, leave me alone. But no, I'm gonna come up for it. And so, like, I think that Dr. G and my lovely friend Sweet Tea wanted the group to still rally around them and pushing Quad out, but like that was last season, babes. We're on this season, and the storyline has changed and the plot has changed, and she's here to stay. She cemented herself back within the group. She showed us her man, like she's actually pushing the story ahead. At the end of the day, this is a cast. This is an ensemble. Like I get that some people are friends, but like people got to do what's for the show, and so Toya had her Bridgerton theme party. Do we feel like the people had authentic attempts um, at like the theme, or like do we feel like you know not everybody really hit that theme with the Georgeson?
The mark was missed.
The mark was missed, and I can't complain. I can't
The mark
disagree.
was missed.
I think the mark was missed. I think what was also funny is that my girl Sweet Tea was like, "Yeah, I mean." You know, like I don't got no issue. I can stay here at the party. Meanwhile, they had a window. So for people who don't know, I watch all of like the lives and get the debriefs and like the dissections of all the things. So when everything happened in Key West, Gregory went to what's it called? He went to the police or he filed whatever legal thing he did. Allegedly, the girls are saying Phaedra was a part of that too. Allegedly, and that was stunts of production, and they had to make sure that they didn't have Quad, King, Dr. Gregory, and Letitia all in the same space, and so they had to stagger a lot of their arrivals, and so that's the real reason, the behind the scenes reason why they weren't together. But like, of course, they played it up with like, I don't want to be around, and da, 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 da. They gave us the theatrics, and so I think that like, yeah, I think that I have a lot of thoughts, but we're gonna move on. So going into reunion one, part one, I actually had some notes, but let me try to share my screen. Am I still on? Oop, maybe I'm not.
Yes.
Can y'all still? Okay. Let me try to share my screen real quick so we can go over the looks. First, let's talk about the fact that Phaedra Parks was not at the reunion. Devastating.
She don't like them B words.
And she don't those types of bitches, and she don't like them. And honestly, like I get it, girl. Let me see. Okay. Okay, period. So we have the lovely Dr. Jackie Walters. I think it's cute, it's simple, it's safe. Ain't much to say about it. Is it giving Georgetown? If it's giving Bridgerton, no. But it is giving pretty, elegant, classy, like Dr. Jackie Walters is. We have the lovely Toya Bush Harris, gorgeous, fine, beautiful, bam, boom, bam. Dresses given like the girls say last season reunion. Nothing major about it. I would have loved for her to do like something a little bit more over the top, but I guess she didn't want to look too cartoonish. But I would have loved to like, see her hair cut, like lifted up, or like see some gloves, like see some more costume, like really get into it. Like this was themed after your wedding anniversary, like 15 years. They've been married for 15 years. And so like this was themed after your event at the end of the season. Give it a little bit more to me. We got Quad. Well, Miss Quad, she got it. She got it. I think she looks good head to toe, baby. I think the boobs are sitting. I think the face is sitting. I think the dress is sitting. I honestly don't even know if it's necessarily giving Georgetown, but it is giving Elevate. It's giving Tea Party. It's giving that girl. We wish that something was different with her hair, and I heard that she did too. But it's fine. It worked at the actual reunion. Like when I saw the pictures, I was like, but at the reunion, it was fine. And then we have the Letitia Sweet Tea Lunsford. I will say, I really enjoy this look sitting down. No comment from Jayla.
I agree.
Yeah, I think she looks really good sitting down. Like, I think sitting down, it gives the effect. I wish that the dress would have been longer. I wish that.
I wish her accessories would have been better because of why was I staring at her earrings because they didn't match.
Girl, I didn't even notice that. I'm gonna have to go look back at the screen. And I also wish that like her hair is nice, and I see it's an ode to like the Bridgerton, the Queen Charlotte, and stuff like that. But like it just doesn't photograph well. And a lot of times people don't photograph well for the reunion. But we got Dr. Simone Whitfield. Next case. We got Dr. Heavenly Kimes. I don't like the neck choker. It's given no neck was there. And like I don't think it's flattering. I think her dress is nice and I think her hair is nice, but I really don't like the neck piece. I wish she would have had something that like yeah, I'm not a fan of it. We got Dr. Contestant Metcalf. It's giving like kind of like homecoming-y, like it's not giving necessarily to Georgetown, but honestly, thank goodness Contestant didn't give us no costume this time. And then we have the lovely Dr. Mimi Sanders, who we have not seen yet, who looks really good. I'm excited to see how this looks sitting down. And then, hold on, I'm about to get my notes I forgot to grab. And let me stop sharing my screen. Let me get my notes I forgot to grab. And Jayla, what are your thoughts on the reunion or the season of Married to Medicine so far?
I'm gonna lie, I was eating up the reunion because the girls were going at it. Okay, the girls were going at it between Quad and T.
Absolutely.
Toya and T. I said, "Oh, this is spicy."
It's spicy, and it's everything that we want.
Mm-hmm. Love when the girls get real unhinged.
Exactly. I was taking some notes, y'all, about here we go. And this ain't even I took some more notes, but I forgot to transfer them over to these. So yeah, let's talk about it. So we talked about the looks and things already. Phaedra, let's talk about how Phaedra really said, bye bye. I don't like to mess with these types of bitches. She said that these are the bitches that are angry, mean black women who put down other people because of their size and their looks.
Okay, here's my thing with the whole Phaedra situation. Yes, she knew Apollo was coming, but
Mhm.
did they tell her that his wife, that used to be his side piece, was coming as well? Because no one mentioned that.
They didn't. They didn't.
I feel like that's a missing piece. That lady had the right to be upset.
However, Jayla, I agree with you on that regard. However, she knew that Apollo knew she was coming alone and that she wasn't coming with Shaq. And so what I think that happened is, and this is just from my, sleuthing, I think what happened was um Apollo peeped that she was bringing his friend, and so he said, "I'm gonna bring my friend to my wife. How about that?" And it just, and I think that they thought it was gonna be a TV moment. Let's be real. Like I think that they thought, "Oh, this is gonna be something. This we gonna gag." Just like she thought she was gonna gag him, he knew he was gonna gag her. And I think that that was very volatile. And I heard allegedly that the girl really went in and went in hard. Didn't see it, but I believe it.
And Phaedra called that lady bad built, and I was on the floor.
Because where's the
Bad
lie?
built
And
B.
now she's divorcing Apollo. And so it was like all of that was for what? And so that's unfortunate. But I think that the Phaedra versus Apollo of it all definitely like took a turn on this show. But like I think that like Phaedra is not a stranger to darkness. She's brought it on Real Housewives of Atlanta, which we'll talk about probably next. But like you can't cry when you do the same things. I'm a bit disappointed that she didn't come. But also like I get it. If I don't want to be around these types of bitches, I'm not. Period. And then now let's talk about Quad versus the Quad versus the girls. Quad said, "I'm not a coward, and I did not flee." I love the cadence and the way that Quad talks. It really is just so captivating. Like I want to talk and address everything just like her with the same level of like pomp and circumstance, like how she delivers everything and like specifically talks about, wait, no, you're going to listen to me, doll. Like I love how Quad talks. And so I thought it was very interesting. I love to see Quad back in the group. I definitely empathize with Quad a lot just because she is seen as the underdog of the show. And so of course they give us that POV. I think that Quad does mess up a lot, but I think that the women do as well. And so I think that like I would love and wish that they didn't pretend as though it was just a Quad thing. It's they have a part to play in it as well, in my opinion. And like I do think sometimes she skirts accountability, but so do they. And so where do we go from there? It's like none of us are accepting accountability of the things that the way that we've wronged one another. And we're on this show. And like the thing is, y'all mad at Quad because she's on this show and she's like, girl, we friends for the show. Y'all friends for the show. So what's the issue? Simone's issue. Let's get into that. Simone has some level of vitriol for Quad that I don't understand and I don't like, and it makes me uncomfortable, quite frankly. I don't like the way that you gave us your ass to
Yes, for years.
What do we think is the issue between them, Jalen?
I haven't figured it out. I think Simone is still salty from Sister Circle. Because
That's
I
what
think
people.
back then she legitimately was friends with Quad and she felt left out. And that hurt is still lingering. And hurt people try to hurt other people. But she got to chill because it's not good for the show. We don't want it. We want T and Toya and Quad and T and Heavenly with whoever arguing. I don't feel like hearing Simone loud ass yell at people.
And I think also too, it's something that's serious when Simone yells. Like I think that like with Quad and T, like that they don't like each other and are gonna whatever, but like I feel like it's not as really deep because at the end of the day, it's because she's the ex-wife. Which I'm tired of that storyline. Like, yes, I'm the ex-wife, but like we don't need to be beefed up. We can be together. Like honestly, I think Dr. Gregory is the reason and the root of their issues. And like I wish that he owned and accepted a lot of that because I think that like while Quad was a little nasty when she was like, I'm what you wanna be. Oh, well, I left him. Like those antagonizing things, like he's the one who took that bait a little bit more than Sweet Tea did. And she's just
But
being
T eggs it on. She eggs it on in those interviews. She throws a lot of shade at Quad, and it's like, girl, read the room.
fair. And I'll take that. I'll take that. Sweet Tea does. But like I do think it's because of Gregory. You know, her husband is like in her ear being like, "Meh, meh, meh." I don't know. I'll never be married, child. So y'all gonna tell me, you gonna tell me like,
I don't
girl.
think she's like, let me take notes and plan what I'm gonna say. She just get in front of the camera and then the mouth start running, and you'll be like, you didn't really say that, did you?
And the mouth really be running. The mouth really be running. But yes, Toya talked about the apologies not being authentic to Quad. That sent me beyond because I love how she clocked Jackie quick, and I love that they be clocking Jackie because Jackie just loves to be like the peacemaker who don't get too much into the issues, but she should be. And so, we'll see. And then also, girl, not they saying Quad might be pregnant. We'll find out, I guess, part 3 of the reunion. Don't
And
don't
Dr. Jackie is her doctor?
catch it, catch it.
Okay. Dang, T, you good?
And that was so hard. My post is Sweet Tea. Like,
Listen, how she gonna tell Toya to tend to her child, the purse, Stormy? You gotta stop opening these doors.
and I think she has to stop opening those doors. And I don't know if Toya took the bait in person and they just didn't air it. But like that was just such an easy win. And like I hate to sign myself up for something like things I would say, and granted, she didn't talk about her actual kids, but like I wish she would have had a better delivery. I wish she would have like I know that people say that she gets reads from other people. I don't know that to be true or not, but I wish if she did, she was able to really articulate them differently. Because I think that like I agree with you. Like some of her stuff falls flat. And like I hate to see it because I want to root for her so bad because I know her in real life. But it's like it's really hard. Besides her being a person and like having empathy for her as a person, it's like just really hard. And so Toya talked about the girls need to be real. She says that the girls are not real, and I stand with her on that. The girls are not real, and they need to be a little bit more honest about where they are and where they stand when people have hurt them. And then lastly, I want to talk about Tess and Heavenly. Let that hurt go. They're not going to ever be back to where they were. And I think that honestly, they need to be a little bit more honest about it. Let me see what else I had on the docket for Married to Medicine. So is Phaedra right in her critique of the cast as demonic minions, or is she deflecting? Deflecting, in my opinion. Has Sweet Tea earned a permanent spot, or should this be her final season? Damn. I want her to grow with this team so bad, but like it don't look like she got in the cards for her. And then does the drama overshadow the original focus of empowerment in medicine? I feel like it has the last few seasons. Like I know this season they had like that medical clinic. I don't feel like they had one last season. But like what I loved about Married to Medicine is that they really focus on like their marriages and that they're in couples, they're in relationships. And then like they go back to like, they go back to what's it called? Like giving back to the communities. Because I think that like, black folks definitely there's a desperate like like there's an unequal sort of level of like access to healthcare and just medical and all those types of things. And so like I did like that was such a focus at the beginning, but I do think in the most recent seasons they have kind of lost the plot, and I want them to get a little bit back to that because their drama, while it's sometimes entertaining, sometimes it gets like it sides away a little too dark. All right, now let's go ahead and jump. We're going to skip Beverly Hills and we're going to jump into Atlanta. We're back for Sweet 16. What were your initial thoughts before you watched this season that we were coming back with season 16 with all like sort of the rumors and everything like that coming on of like the cast, the fights and all those things? Like what was going on through your mind?
For starters, didn't know Shamia was that rich. well, that wealthy. I was interested to see like how we got to where Kenya and Britt, like, that whole altercation and how Kenya's not on the show. I wanted to see the build up, but they're cutting her scenes, so can't really see that. What I wanted to see for real is how Porsha was going to explain taking that woman's husband, making him hers, and then divorcing him because she found out he was a scammer and a liar.
which is embarrassing.
Embarrassing. I didn't really know too much about the other girls, so I was just like, "Oh, Lioness Drew's coming back." Okay.
And what's so funny is Drew really be lying. Like he really be lying.
And
And
they clock it.
every time. So this is what I got on my docket. First, let's talk about Portia's big return. So after her dramatic divorce from Simon, is Porsha reclaiming her crown or is her storyline already tired? We're on episode 3.
I'm not feeling it, honestly.
I think that I was very excited to see Portia come back to the franchise because she was such like a light. I know she left on a very like kind of darkish note, and like with the whole Bolo situation, with the whole candy and the drug, like all those types of things. Like it was a lot going on. But Portia always to me read fun girl. I know the girl says she's mean, she's nasty, she's this and that, but she's always read fun girl. Like she made me think of one of my really good friends. And so I was excited to see her back. I'm already over it. I think I really hate y'all. So if you're watching this season, she broke fourth wall. For what reason is what we want to know. She said, "Can I break fourth wall?" So you trying to film with my baby? That girl. Next case. Like I think I want her to be a little bit more honest. You want the control of the perception of what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
you and your baby daddy and your family, and you don't want him to have access to that, period. And I think that that's okay. Like, I think, like, like, girl, come on, but like, I think it's okay. Shamia Morton stepping up. So you talked about Shamia sort of being wealthy and us finally seeing that. Like, we got a chance to look at Shamia's house before the season began. Baby, Baby, she got elevators, she got escalators, she's in a hall. She doesn't even have like they say she don't even have her address at Sterling Estate or Sterling Hall. Which shout out. But like, girl, I want to be like Shamia. So her promotion to main cast member, I don't know. I think she's still finding her footing. I'm excited to learn more about her, but like, no shade, her confessionals, I'm kind of over them. Like, I think she's a little bit too animated for me. I'm gonna have to adjust to her. Like, I like seeing her with other people, but seeing her on her own, I'm like, okay, Shamia, girl, like, let's get to it. Which I'm long winded too, so I get it. But come on, girl. Um, and then also, I'm very interested in seeing this feud between her and Angela Oakley continue to grow. What are your thoughts on that?
She talked about that lady nose like that.
I can't even do. I can't even do.
I used to be able to, okay, no more. But hey, did she lie?
Look, Shamina.
And I
Um,
missed it. What started it?
I think what really started it is just that like she was. I think that Shamina didn't like how she tried to stun her when she was like, "Girl, why did you bring up?" All Shamina did at that first episode was just like, "Hey, girl, are you um, are you and Dennis together?" And then they blew it up into something more. You talking about are you fucking Dennis and da 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 da? No, I asked her they together. Like I'm one moving the story forward, and I'm asking what we all want to know. And like you're saying that I'm being my friend's sort of like lapdog. No, I'm being a friend. I'm also being someone who's curious, who has the same things, because Cynthia and Kenya have the same things, and they've also brought that up to you as well, Drew. And so I think Angela coming in as like very like for Drew is interesting. Like I know that they're from Chicago, but like I think that's very interesting, and I think that like that little scuttlebutt, and also like wanting to make it more than like wanting to make it the feud of the season. So like, okay, we'll get some story time, or we'll get some screen time, and we'll get a storyline of like this little feud that we have, because a lot of them have like little things with each other. Like Britt and Kenya, we have Porsha and Kelly, which I really enjoyed their little scene. But like like it's interesting, and so I think, yeah, I think that Shamia is bringing a valuable part to the show, but I think she needs to find her footing because she might find her way in like turning into a mean girl, or turning into a cliche, or just like being like, I don't think she'll be like Marlo because she's wealthy. No shade to Marlo. Like I think that like that part, and she's married, and so I think, and she has like a compelling story with her child, and like with childbirth and like all those types of things. But like, girl, like give me some real drama though, for real. Like give me a real like actual reason to be like. I'd rather see her beefed up with Drew than like Angela, but whatever. Kenya Moore's reduced role. So I don't like the way that they cut all of Kenya's interviews, and like they cut a lot of her screen time. I don't think it's necessary. If you're going to take her out, just take her out. Like y'all have Porsha Phaedra here in the mix as sort of like a main cast member when she's probably in just 2-3 episodes. Why can you do the same for Kenya? And my thing is, it's gonna be really messed up if they don't bring Kenya to the reunion. Like, does Real Housewives of Atlanta lose its spark without Kenya front and center? I don't necessarily think so, but I do think that they missed a key element of what made the franchise and what would have made this new season. Like seeing Kenya and Porsha, I think that's a duo. Like I don't think Porsha is a duo or is a star by herself. Sorry, taking Nene's words. I think that them together equals a star because them together made such like cataclysmic moments for the franchise that we all know, love, gag about. And so it would have been nice seeing them rekindle and grow into something. And like, yeah, because I will say Kenya fell flat a little bit for me last season. Because I like Marlo. Unpopular opinion, I like Marlo. I know she's not everybody's favorite. I think that she was a little bit poor taste, but like I like Marlo. Um, and then the newbies versus the veterans. So let's talk about Britt Eady, Kelly Farrell, Angela Oakley alongside Phaedra and Cynthia. Is this new cast blending well, or is something else essential missing?
I think the blend's okay for now.
I think the blend's okay for now. Like I think like we have the opportunity. Um I think we have the opportunity to like grow into something
Mm-hmm.
with these people and like follow, like you know what I mean. And so yeah, like I'm curious to see. I think Brit. I'm not really in love with Brit's story right now. Kelly is interesting to me. And Angela, your husband don't want to be there, and so that makes me not want to really see any scenes with you and him.
But she's still forcing them.
Still forcing them. So how do we feel with the absence of Candy, Marlo, Sheree, and Sanya from last season? Like, do we feel like they would have meshed with these girls, or do we feel like they made a good decision of like, I know Candy left on her own accord, but like not returning and not hiring Sanya, Sheree, and Marlo?
I would have loved to see Sheree in the mix,
Mm-hmm.
but the other two, they didn't bring much, so we're not missing much, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, I would have loved. It's always good to have that actual OG presence, you know,
Yeah.
what I mean, of like someone who was at the creation of the show and like the zeitgeist of the show becoming what it is. And like I think Candy felt like so much of that because she came in season 2, and so without missing that like anchor. Not granted, like I think Candy's like whatever, she's doing her thing out on Broadway and all that stuff, but like I think that like yeah, I would have liked to see somebody else sort of anchoring the show, and not in a dominating way. Like we don't need like a needy. Well, of course we always need needy leaks, but we don't need like a needy. Like we don't need that star who's like, rah, 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 but like just somebody, a familiar face that like. And I guess that's what Shamiya is. But like we still need to learn Shamiya a little bit more. Like do a better job at weaving her back in into like how she was always at the scene and all those types of things. Anything else on the girls for Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Okay, here's my question for you. So
Mm-hmm.
you know how they said Mia is declassing Real Housewives of Potomac? Do
Mm-hmm.
you feel like this new cast of Atlanta is declassing it as well? Because Shamia and Portia definitely filmed in a strip club.
That's very interesting. When I saw the cast, I felt that way. When I saw these newbies and like not knowing them, like Angela Oakley, I've heard of her husband before. I've not heard of Britt Eady a day in my life. I've not heard of Kelly Farrell a day in my life. And so I was like, who are these people? As they would say about me being on the show. And I'm like, they give no shade, but like Fashion Nova, influence. Like they give not. It's like what's going on in Atlanta, and so I think the strip club is fine because like look at Shamia, like she's money. She'll look like it in this photo, but like she's money. You know what I mean? And so it's like I think seeing them in their real lives is great. I think the ladies are beautiful. I'll give them that. But like I think depending on the antics that happen, and like I'm very curious to see what happens with the Kenya of it all because
Absolutely.
I feel like Brit is blowing this out of proportion. Like I feel like Brit is like really looking for a moment.
Mm.
And honestly, Kenya gave it to her, unfortunately. And I think that like Kenya, you gonna need to make sure you take notes next time. You did.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry, babes. But yeah, I think speaking of Potomac, I forgot I had them on here too. Rise of the Potomac finale reunion. So where do we go now with the cast? The reunion was really nice. I finally watched it this week, I believe. It really was missing Karen, but Wendy and Giselle really did show up as the You don't think so?
I've slept since that reunion. I'm trying to remember what happened.
Well, the one of the biggest things that's happened is TJ exposed Stacy for paying him to be on the show, which I think was like a big bum that we still have not got the receipts on. And
Still I rise.
Stacy's still rising. And I think Stacy is a nice addition to the cast. Like I think for next season, and this is me being delusional because Karen's in jail. Next season, I would like to see Stacy, Karen, Giselle, Wendy as the main flute holders. Um, with Ashley as a friend, Kay as a friend, proving herself. Because I think that Kay's story, girl, you was just too good for Greg, in my opinion. I don't know what I'm I don't know what else I'm watching. I think that we have the classic frenemy situation with Karen and Giselle. I think that depending on I mean, hell, Jen Shaw keeps on getting her damn sentence moved
Center
up.
shortened. Yeah.
That girl keep my goodness, she gonna be out of jail before my niece graduate. Like I don't know what's going on over there at that. But shout out to whoever her lawyers or whatever is happening that like they're moving the needle along because my girl wasn't on this last season of Salt Lake City. So they say, hey girl, we need to make sure she's on the next one. But I hope with Karen, like they took her to jail immediately, y'all. Like they did not pass go. I think that might have happened. Did that happen this month or did that happen towards the end of last month? That they sent her straight to jail. It's like it was this month. It was so long ago, but like she got her sentence. They gave her 2 years, a year, and what's it called? Mine went blank. A year and like she'll be out after a year. She has to do a year and a year probation. I hope my girl, she's 60 something years old. She doesn't need to be in that jail cell. She definitely needs to sit down and think about what she did. She needs to, for sure, have that little breathalyzer thing to start a car. And I know it exists. I know it exists out there in the DMV because I know some people who have been on there in the DMV. And so they need to go ahead and give her that. They need to make sure that my sister's not driving under the influence because that was very reckless. That was very like wild. But she's old. What do y'all keep her in prison for? But I think that her and Giselle's dynamic. I think that Wendy now coming into the mix, there she's gonna hold the Karen's feet to the fire because Karen really did do her dirty towards the end. And I don't think the whole like her telling Stacey don't trust her, whatever. I think the whole like acknowledging every single person but her was nasty. It was a gag. And also Wendy, don't be surprised you don't like her either.
It was
That's
very nasty.
I think Mia can go completely. I think Mia can
Absolutely.
go completely. I think what she did with Jazzy, Stacey, all them people talking about come to my party in Miami just to not be there. OMG. Hi, Kay.
I think Mia would do great in Atlanta, like she said.
On Love and Hip Hop. I agree.
Because Ink is a DJ.
exactly, and I think that Mia would bring a fresh, fun thing to Love and Hip Hop, and it'll be the first time that we had a Bravo Liberty, gone over to that end. Like I think that would be something, and I think that that will be the lane that Mia will be in. Like I think Mia's always been Mia, but I think that the way that she came across to us was a lot different than who she is now. Kay said, "Hey, Jayla."
It won't let me respond. Hey, Kay.
um, but yeah, I think that would be a good four. I'm tired of Ashley. I'm glad she's finally divorced. Good riddance. I think Kay. I like how Kay stands by Karen and not necessarily um like excuses her actions and her behaviors. Like she's like, "Hey, Karen stood by me in my accident. I'm a ride by her. I hope she gets help. XYZ." Like without being too nasty. And same with Giselle. Like Giselle wasn't too, but I feel like Ashley and Mia and they was really trying to get it in, and give the grand dame one last kick. So is Real Housewives of Potomac successfully transitioning into a new era, or is it losing its edge?
It's losing its edge.
Unfortunately, I think the fresh faces were nice, but I think we need to really do something with this cast. And has Potomac lost its top tier Bravo status, or is this evolution necessary?
Listen, Salt Lake City is still gonna be at the top for me because them heifers are insane. They're correct. I love them down because it's never a dull moment on the episodes.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. So, okay, I'm about to not go over everything that we had on here, but one real quick, just wanted to wrap up with some big news for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And honestly, the storylines have been boring the entire time. It's been about Kyle and Dorit going through divorce. Will they? Won't they? Sutton beefed up with everybody on the cast. Dorit and Bose being best friends. Sutton and Garcelle being best friends. Erica being in the middle, pushing on Sutton. All those types of things. The big thing I want to talk about is Garcelle just said she's no longer coming back to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think shout out to her. I think she did what she needed to do. I would have loved to see one more season of two black women on there together who are just very different, very beautiful, very successful, and just very, very different in their approaches. Like one's on Sutton's side, one's on Dorit's side. I think they were able to not let all of that mess get in between them. And so yeah, I'd love to see that. Um but I think it was surprising for me because why would you leave this money? But a lot of people were saying that she's leaving at the height of her housewife sort of journey, and while she's still why people still want her. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, get rid of her," but why she still wanted, and she's taking that and elevated. Her sons are graduating high school next year. It's just a lot of things coming up for Garcelle that she wants to focus on. Do you think that more housewives, Jayla, should follow this trend of leaving before it's too late? Because I think there's some housewives that are meant to be housewives, like Nene Leakes, and there's some folks who kind of overstay their welcome. I kind of feel like Ashley Darby has.
I agree.
Yeah, I think finding that timing is a hard sort of thing to do. But shout out to the girls who get it. And most of the time people are fired.
She's
Like
probably like, I have other. She said it. She's like, I have other projects. I have other things going on. Baby, remember who Garcelle is, and I
and my
think she remembered.
Garcelle is Black Hollywood. We were all so excited to see Garcelle on this show. Whether you watch the show or not, because you see Fancy being on a housewife platform, being one of the first black women, or the first black woman, because the Puerto Rican that they had, she claimed she was black, but whatever. I don't know what all that is, alleged. And so, shout out to my girl Garcelle, and shout out to sort of her tenure that she had on the show. And I think people are, a question I want to ask is like, was she pushed out? Is she leaving on her own terms? I know she's leaving on her own terms, but I'm wondering what led her to do that. And I saw at the finale, she was, or at the reunion, she was like, F y'all, how can I be with these women? I think that it may be an exaggerated edit, but I also saw on Watch What Happens Live, they said she wasn't even in the cast photo at the end. And so I'm like, dang, y'all really had her that messed up. And so I also am shout out to her for standing on business. Shout out to her for saying, I'm not about to be disrespected and stay around here. I'm going to get my grip and I'm going to go. My contract is up and so am I. And once again, more people need to follow on with that. And I do think that the social media narratives unnecessarily and unfairly amplify the Garcelle and Bo's sort of drama. I don't know if there's real friction or not, and I hope that we will never know. Like, I hope that, like, for the sake of Black women being on this show, and like Bo said a comment of like, why do we get to have 4 white women be the main stars, but not 2 Black women? Why does it have to be one? And so, like, I really am disheartened to see Garcelle go, because we finally have another Black woman with her who I think is like equally, like, I think Bose is like Hollywood, like she made a lane for herself, and so it would have been nice to see them, yeah, out and in. But that concludes what I have for the recap. I want to talk a little bit about like what reality moment resonated the most with folks this month. And yeah, do y'all agree or disagree with some of the things that we said today? What's something, Jayla, like this month or reality TV moment that's like embedded in your MFing brain?
T pointing out that Toya told her that Toya told her that T and Quad shared a D, and Heavenly said, "Well, you did." Like, where's the lie? And Quad saying, she tastes like sweet things.
And honestly, like, what I love about Quad is her wit, her quickness, her sharpness, like all that. And so shout out to my girl. Like, shout out to Miss Quad. I think huh. I don't know. I feel like that's such a hard question for me because like there's just such a variation of different shows and like, things I've been watching, but I think what takes the cake for me? I think what takes the cake for me that's gonna be embedded in my brain for this month is Phaedra's departure and saying them kind of bitches I don't fuck with. Like, fair enough, huh? As my friend should be able to say, child. Like, look, I'm screaming. I'm supposed to be meeting my friends for dinner, so that's why I'm trying to wrap on up. And then yeah, I guess thank y'all for viewing, for joining, for participating. Thank you, Jayla, for being up here with me. It's always great to do this with someone who I can talk with versus just like myself, because that's like so awkward. So like we're gonna have to get some more people up here. So if you are interested, hit me on up and being on the panel as we discuss these shows. Y'all know I say for next month we still have Married to Medicine. We'll still have Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we'll have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills returning. And I don't know what other new shows. Like I need to really get into Survivor because I am on that fantasy bracket and I have not picked someone yet. Like I don't even know how many points I have. I have not looked at that fantasy league since I first started. And I really want to watch like a few other sort of like shows that they got going on for the people. So thank you all and have a great rest of y'all's day.